fantastic, nice talk. First of all, thank you for taking an hour or so out of your Thursday evening to come listen to me ramble on. Hopefully not ramble on too much. Unless I get triggered or I rant, we might be here for a while. Just a bit about myself. My name is Gavin, Rowan. I'm head of training and nutrition here in ATB Fitness. I'm a coach here about 2.5 years now. I'm qualified 5 years. My own background, I have a story of 5 stone weight loss behind me. So I do understand the struggles, not as a female, but as a male. It is harder for you to lose weight, I'll touch on that in a minute. But as a male, I have lost 5 stone, I'm off my own back. So I do know the struggles, so I do know where you're at, where you want to be, vice versa, I know the struggles, okay? Tonight's talk, hopefully keeping you just in about an hour. Slides, there were 12 slides. There is a Q&A at the end of about 15 questions already sent in to me. So if you have a question, maybe remember it or write it down. And if it's not answered throughout the whole talk and the Q&A already, maybe ask me at the end. So there's a Q&A already set up, and then there's an open floor Q&A for the rest of you as well, if I haven't answered what you want to know throughout all the slides, okay? Next slide, please, Owen. So this is a briefing of what we're going to be going through tonight. Take as many pictures as you want. Please have the flashes off if possible. If you have a pen and paper, write all you want as well. Please take as much knowledge as you need from tonight's talk, and all you need, okay? So the first topic is going to be methods of calculating the calories you need. So the first slide what I'm going to be going through is it's going to be the website that I kind of use or send clients to figure out your maintenance calories and then input your activity level to get the calories you actually need, okay? When we're doing this, it is very individual to the person, so you're going to have to get your age, your height, activity level, all that kind of stuff into one bracket and then get the formula and equation to set up your starting point for your calories or your diet, either cutting weight or gaining weight, whatever it is, okay? From there then, we're going to touch on a safe caloric deficit for fat loss. What this means is, if you do a calorie calculator online and you put in your weight, activity level, all that kind of stuff, and it gives you, let's say, 2,000 calories. It'll then ask you how much weight per week you want to lose. All these calculators will say 1 pound, 2 pounds, vice versa. If you put in 2 pounds, it's going to knock 7,000 calories off your overall weekly allowance, so that's 1,000 calories will be off your maintenance. So if you put in, your maintenance is 2,000 calories to stay the same weight. If you want to lose 2 pounds a week, it's going to put you straight down a starting point at 1,000 calories. That's the way it works. How it works, the equation for this is, a pound of fat is roughly 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound. That's how much it weighs in calorie value. So if you were to start your 2,000 calorie diet, if you knock 500 calories off per day for 7 days a week, in theory, you lose 1 pound a week. Does that make sense? Okay, good, okay. So I'm going to show you the safe way to start it, not just chase that number on the scales, vice versa, keep performance high, all that kind of stuff, recovery. So I'll touch you on where to go for starting point, cutting back slow, nice and steady, rather than just going from here to here straight away, okay? So the next one, when and how to reduce and increase your calories. This is going to be a big topic. So everybody thinks when weight loss is the main goal, that calories have to be cut and cut and cut and cut, but I will show you where to cut them and where to reintroduce calories and bring them back up as well, okay? From there then, we have how much protein you need. Very, very popular question we get asked in the gym. How much protein should I be eating every day? How many calories do I need? Very person dependent again on a number of factors, which I will touch on the slide. Next one is going to be your macronutrient splits. Your macros are your carbs, proteins and fats. They make up your total daily amount of calories. Okay, so I'll touch on that. Your splits, a recommended split that I'll recommend for you in the fat loss phase. And there's a thing called carb cycling as well, which I'll touch on as well in one of the slides. Another one, as of late, that's been a popular topic that's after coming up in a lot of questions is intermittent fasting. If you don't know what it is, you're going to learn about it tonight, and I'm going to bust some myths and you're going to learn about it. Nutritional timing is known as well, so that's everyone, what time should I eat this? What time is my last meal should be? Can I eat carbs after 6? I will touch on that as well and go through all the nutritional timing information you need, who it's for, who should be doing it, when you should be doing it, vice versa. Okay? A refeed and a cheat meal. So this is probably something you see maybe on social media where you see these influencers, they're good all week, Monday to Friday, on the weekends they're in pizza places, whatever, big massive burgers. You're like, how can they eat all this and they can be in this shape all their lives or for the year or whatever. So I'll touch on what a refeed is. So in theory, that's a cheat meal, and then there's a structured refeed. So there are two different things, so I will touch on them and explain what they're for, who they're for, when they should be implemented in your diet. The second last one then is your questions answered. So as I said, there's 15 questions already after coming into me. So I will touch on all them, get through all them. And then the last one is an open floor Q&A. So I'll be looking for at least 2 questions. So think of them, please, as we go along. I want at least 2 questions from me at the end of the Q&A. Okay, we'll roll the first slide and we'll get started. Okay, so this is your formula for calculating the calories that you need. So you can take pictures, you can write it down, whatever you want for this. So the equation is called is Harris and Benedict or Mifflin St. George, okay? That is the equation on top. So this is the website I send people to. So it's calculator.net. When you're on that website, there will be a drop-down box for a fitness and health calculators category. When you click that option, it then says calorie calculator, and then from here you will need your age, your gender, your height, your weight, your activity level. Once you input that and press enter, then this will give you your maintenance calories and a suggested deficit. So as I said, if you put in you want to lose 2 pounds a week, they're going to knock 1,000 calories straight off the bat from your starting maintenance calories. So that is the website. I'm going to show you the formula of how it's actually worked yet, or in the next slide. You don't need to write this down because there's a lot of maths and I'm going to lose you halfway through. So just this is where you need to go, but the next slide will show you the equation of actually how to get it. Okay. Female on the top, male on the bottom. So there is 2 different equations. They just similar or differentiate a very small bit at the end. So for the females, it's -161. For the males, it's +5. Okay. So this is what you're going to be putting into the computer. This is the automated one that's going to do it, but this is what it looks like behind the computer screen. Okay. So for this, you need your weight in kilograms, your height in centimeters, your age in years, and this will give you your RMR. So what your RMR is, this is your starting point of calories before any activity level is included. So these are the calories you need if you want to lie in bed, brain function, pumping blood around the body, blinking, whatever, breathing, all that kind of stuff. This is your RMR. So these are calories as you just lay it flat. So this is no activity level, no steps, no nothing, okay? So this is what it is. So we're taking for an example here. So we have 70 kg female. Okay, she's 165 centimeters tall and she's 29 years old. When you do the sum, this is what her RMR is. So these are her baseline calories to just the basic functions in the body. As I said a minute ago, male, as I said, a little bit different at the end, and males do require higher calorie output, and he's heavier, he's a bit taller, and vice versa. So that's what it looks like behind the screen. You don't need to know this. All this is kind of fancy stuff that I do when I do the nutrition plans. You don't need to know this part. This is all from me and my knowledge, okay? Yes, next slide please. So this is your activity level. So your RMR, as I said, your basic starting point. This is where you input your activity level. So we're going to use the top line again. So female, 29 years old, 70 kg, 5'5". So her RMR from the last slide, 1,425 calories. Next one is very important. How active actually are you? Okay, that is a big line. So us as coaches, I do 3 spinning classes a week. I train when I can. I'm on the floor 5 days a week. I'm fairly active on my feet. I'd put myself in as moderately active, okay? 3 to 5 times per week, thereabouts. People might think they're moderately active if they're doing 1 PT, 1 class and a lot of steps. You're more than likely in the light section, okay? So when you get your basic calories, you then have to multiply it by this number and it will give you your maintenance calories, okay? So this is your in-bed calories, in factoring in your calories that you need to train, your activity level, and this is your maintenance calories. So 1960 is your starting point calories. In theory, if you ate 1960 calories every day, you stay the same weight, okay, in theory. Some variables, but that is how it goes. If you go on to the next one, if you put yourself in as this active and you're not this active, you're eating nearly 250 calories extra per day for 7 days. Do the maths, 1,750 calories extra per week that you probably don't need because you're not that active. Okay, us as coaches, as I said, we're about here. This will be like endurance athletes training twice a day, very hard job, loads of steps. This is a very, very high end scale, and that's only their starting point. Okay, so you want to just make sure that you're putting yourself in realistically. How actually active are you? Okay, so make sure you get that kind of fairly nailed on the head if you're doing the maths yourself. So even on the calculator, when you put in the sum, it'll ask you. Then the last drop down box will be how active are you. Put in first or second moderatively if you're literally in endurance training 5 days a week hard. I'd go moderatively, otherwise stay kind of lighter before. Next slide please. Okay, this one, how to create a caloric deficit to achieve fat loss, a safe one. Same woman again, 25 or 29 years old, 70 kg, 5'5", same again, her RMR, lying in bed weight, or calories 1,425. We now put in her lightly active exercise. She trains 1 to 3 times a week. That could be a spinning class and 1 PT. That is lightly active, okay? If you think about it, there's 168 hours in the week. If she does a spinning class and a PT, that's about an hour and a half activity for the whole week. Okay, so you gotta put yourself in as lightly active for that. Okay. So her maintenance calories is at 1960. This is her maintenance calories, her TDEE. That stands for total daily energy expenditure. That is all the calories she burns in a day to stay the same weight. Okay. Now, if she wants to lose weight, she needs to be eating less than 1960 calories to be in a deficit. If she wants to gain weight, she needs to be eating more than that to grow weight or grow muscle, gain weight, vice versa. Okay. A safe starting point, I'll always start clients on as high as possible for as long as possible and then chip away as the weeks go on, instead of going, right, you want to lose 2 pounds a week, you're on 960 calories, off you go. You're going to lose weight, it's going to be brilliant, but it's not the way to go. 10%, 15%, 20% max is what you should be looking at for your initial first calorie drop in your nutrition plan. Okay. If I have someone starting on a plan, I'll always go 10 or 15%. If they send me a bad food diary, they've not been on plan for a while, there is no point cutting their calories really low straight away. If they're going from 3,000-4,000 calories a day off plan gaining weight, they now are going to be on maybe 1,600, that's nearly half their calories. If they go any lower, they're going to be starving and they know what's going on in their body. They're not going to stick to the plan, adherence won't be there, they're not going to follow the plan, and it's going to go to window after 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, so make sure 10, 15, 20% is a safe number. So even if it gives you your maintenance calories on the app, don't put in how much you want to lose on their side, because they'll knock off their recommended, so 500 or 1,000 calories over the space of a week. So get your number and then you do the math yourself. Little calculation, 10, 15 or 20%, that's all you should be going to start with. The rest will be coming from your steps, your NEAT, your training, all that kind of stuff. And that's where you start, okay? So please do not go any lower than that starting off. As the weeks go on, yes, the calories will get lower, but like there's no need for be low calories starting off. So you should look at calories as like your starting point, and then everything else, so your calorie drops, your exercise, your cardio, they're all extra tools. As you go on, you start implementing them as you go on. So never you all your tools at once. So when, let's say week 1 of your diet plan, you shouldn't be doing 5 cardio sessions, 5 weight sessions, massive deficit. Yes, it's going to lose scales weight on the scales, but it's not going to be great long term. You're going to crash. You won't maintain it, so you want to start small deficit, 1 or 2 training sessions, maybe 1 cardio. As the weeks go on, weight loss will start on a small bit, reduce more calories, or increase output, which is more like expenditure of calories, or less input, okay? That's the way that goes. Next one, please. Okay, how and when to increase and decrease your calories. So I'm going to start with the top one first, so how you increase your calories. So, menstrual cycle, a lot of women here, sorry Mark. So in your menstrual cycle, regular 28-day cycle, you have 2 main phases, okay? You have your first 2 weeks is your follicular phase, the last 2 weeks is your luteal phase, okay? First 2 weeks is a good time in the month to be tracking calories, performance-wise, to be in a deficit. Your last 2 weeks of your cycle is your luteal phase. This is not a good time for you females. When trying to lose weight, you have a higher chance of dislocation. Your ovaries are in overdrive, so your body physically needs more calories. This is where, as a coach, as a professional, should bring your calories from a deficit back to maintenance calories just for 10, 12 days. Now, when I say back to maintenance calories, you could be maintenance calories 2,000, your coach might start you on 1,800 calories. So you're on a 200 calorie deficit every day for 6 weeks, whatever. So for the last 2 weeks of each cycle, he or she should bring your calories from 1,800 back to 2,000 calories just for that 10-day cycle. It could be from fruit, a bit of carbs, vice versa, but literally it's only 200 calories extra per day. It's going to keep you on plan. It's going to limit the chances of binging and eating out and getting that like, oh, I'm so hungry this time of the month, what's wrong with me? And you binge and you go off plan. As a coach, coaches need to know that they need to bring back calories for females in a fat loss phase during their luteal phase of their 28-day cycle, regular cycle, okay? Increase after a prolonged dieting phase, competition or photo shoot. So this is called a reverse diet. So if you have someone on a competition, photo shoot, vice versa for maybe 10, 12 weeks, if they're dieting hard, if they're going to that kind of means, they're going to be at a very, very low body fat percentage. So you need to increase calories when they come out the other side of the competition, the other side of the shoot. They cannot maintain that percentage body fat, male or female, forever. So what they need to do, you need to increase calories slowly or straight away back to maintenance. There's no difference what you do with them, but you need to bring their calories back up to get their hormones back in action, get back training, everything needs to be put back in check, so calories need to go back up to maintenance after shoots, competitions, all that kind of stuff when body fat is quite low. When there's a refeed, calories go back up. There is a slide on that in a minute, so I will touch on that in detail in a minute. When you have reached your goals is a big one here. So I think this is very important. If you are dieting for 6, 8, 10 weeks and you have reached your goal weight and you are happy, there is no reason why you should not and cannot go back to your maintenance calories and stay there. At maintenance calories, you cannot gain weight unless you're under-reporting or eating at night that you're not tracking calories. That's the only way you can gain weight at your maintenance. At your maintenance calories, you will be in a slight deficit in training anyway. But I would recommend when you have reached your goals, it is time for such a diet break, but not like a binge. So bring your calories back from, if you stop or finished on 1,500 calories of your, let's say, 6th week of your plan, you should bring them then back to 2,000. You're still in a slight deficit, but you're having more foods. It's going to keep you on plan. It's going to get you set up for the next time if you want to go again, but you're not going to gain weight. But it's just for mental, physical, every reason should go back to maintenance when you reach your goal. You might go at your maintenance for a few weeks. When you want to go again, diet again. But it shouldn't be forever, and people think it is. And people think it's for months and years. Get to your goal weight ditch the nights out for 6 weeks, get your go weight and just stay there. It's not that hard. And I'll touch that in a little bit because there's questions about that as well. When certain hormones don't regulate, so this is going to bring you back to the second one again for like dieting phases, competition photo shoots. You have two main hormones here called leptin and ghrelin. They can up-regulate and down-regulate. So this is where food and calories need to come back up to maintenance or increase in carbs primarily to get these hormones back in the body, back to kind of normal baseline, okay? I think I'm touching on that in the refeed, so I'll just keep that for the next one. So when you are decreasing your calories, this is where people think you need to start and keep going and going through a fat loss phase. You don't. So at the start of your dieting phase, this is where you first create your deficit, so 10, 15, 20% off maintenance. This is your starting point, so that is your first deficit, okay? As the weeks go on during this phase, when the coach sees fit. Okay, so as the weeks go on, deficits and changes to your plan, calorie drops do not need to be made every 7 days. If you check in with your coach and if there's not a change made, there's a reason why and you should be okay with that. Nutritional changes might occur after 2 days, it could be after 12 days in your body, weight loss or weight changes, so it doesn't have to be every 7 days. Yes, you might check in with your coach every 7 days, but the changes don't need to be made every 7 days unless your coach thinks so, okay? Some people who are here with me at the moment, they might be on plan with me, if they check in with me on a Friday morning and they've lost a lot of weight, I'll go, right, I'm not going to touch your calories, check in with me on Tuesday morning in 4 days time, so I can see, are you still dropping too much or are you kind of slow down a bit? Then I'll know for the next week, so 2 weeks from the original starting date, then I'll know, do I make a change or not, okay? Yes, it's great for you to see the weight loss on the scales, but as a coach, we know it is not great internally, long term, for you to be losing massive amounts of weight on the scales, long term every week, okay? So you got to take our advice from your coach when we see fit, when to make your drops or adjustments up or down in foods, okay? Banking calories for an event or dinner or night coming up. You can look at this two ways, okay? So if you want to bank calories, you can either do it on the day of your event out or your night out. You can do it throughout the week gradually, so like maybe 100 or 200 calories every day up to Saturday or Friday, or else you can do it a lot of it for Saturday. So you could cut out your breakfast, you could cut out your lunch. The only bad thing about that is when you get to that event or dinner table, you are starving and you are going to go for it. Starters, main courses, desserts, and then you're like, oh, I feel grand now, I've saved like 500 calories and you probably ate triple that, all right, if not more. The only other way to look at it is have something small throughout the day, so when you get to the dinner table, you're not like absolutely starving and you're going for everything. If you're already like kind of full, you'll probably skip a starter and just have a main and dessert. So you are saving calories by not having another meal. So I'd recommend for clients, yes, cut back a small bit of calories, but do have something small before you go out for dinner. So you don't get to the table and you're like, give me everything, do you know? Looking at the menu going, yes, yes, on your phone before you go, going and having all this. You don't want that. You're setting yourself up for a bad relationship with a good food plan and you don't want that, okay? On rest days from the gym, so carb cycling, I'll be touching on that in one of the slides in a minute. So carb cycling, just to run through quickly, is when you cycle your carbs. So on days you're training, doing resistance training in the gym, so lifting weights, physically working out hard, this is where your body requires higher carbs, so glucose. Okay, so when your carbs come into the body, they convert to glucose. That is your primarily energy source for when you're lifting weights. Okay, when you're not lifting weights, if you're just doing, let's say, a day's work and you're just going out for a walk or whatever, this is when you carb cycle. So what that is, you drop carbs lower and you increase your fats. Now calories always stay around the same. You're still in your consistent deficit. Carbs drop, fats go up. Okay, so I'll touch on that in a bit more detail in a minute. When you have hit a plateau, so as I said again, when you have hit that, let's say two weeks in and you're not dropping any more weight, this is when your coach should see fit and drop a few more calories or tell you, right, just do an extra class. We should always know as well, when training volume and output decreases, your calories have to go with it. So if you're going from training, if you're a teacher, let's say, training, let's say 5 days a week in the gym and you're at 1,500 or 1,600 calories, let's say, right? When you go back to school, you might not be training 5 times a week, so you do not require that many calories. So please, you have to go with your calories and your activity levels together. So when your training volume output decreases, your calories have to go with it. Otherwise, you're going to be in a surplus because you're not going to be training as much, so you're going to be eating too many calories for what you actually need. Adaptations will happen in the body and you're going to start gaining weight slowly. Is that okay? Does that make sense? So when the decrease in training occurs, you have to put calories with it. So this is when as well, if you start losing a lot of weight and you stop going to the gym 5 days a week, this is when you need to redo your calories if you're doing them yourself. Your activity level has changed, your weight has changed, your output of training has changed. You need to now go back, redo your calculations, and you will have a lower number for your baseline calories, so you'll have a lower number for your deficit. Does that all make sense? Okay, calories training have to go kind of hand in hand. Next one. Okay, big question we always get. How much protein do I need? All of it. Okay. Depending on the individual in a number of ways, so there is factors you have to take into consideration when you are looking at a protein target. Adequate protein and calories is the number one go-to that you should be worried about when trying to lose weight or gain muscle. Carbs and fats are just very minor. Protein, adequate protein, consistent deficit of calories is where you should be at for your kind of priority. Carbs and fats, don't worry about those. I'll touch on that in nutritional timing as well. So your activity level comes into play, so how active you are, how much protein you need, how much muscle mass you have, how many days you're training, your rest days, vice versa. How well you recover as well. So if someone is recovering poor from their sessions in the gym, I'll always give them a slightly higher protein diet just for repair purposes. And what your goal is it muscle gain? Are you training 6 days a week? Are you only training 1 day a week? Different, vice versa. So for your benefits, you have enzymes, hormones, muscle growth for when you're in a surplus, trying to build muscle. This promotes muscle growth, muscle repair. So when you're, let's say, after your gym sessions, when you're getting your protein shake or your chicken or rice, whatever you eat, this is repairing of the muscle. And then you have muscle. So let's say when you're in a deficit, you want to reserve muscle. So this is very important to get your protein in. When you're trying to cut weight, protein is quite important. Okay. So these are your 3 baseline entry protein targets that I've kind of put up on the board without getting into too much detail. Okay. So someone training lightly active 1 to 3 times per week. Your baseline target should be what you weigh in kilograms times 1.5. Okay? So if you weigh 80 kg, so here, if you weigh 80 kg, you times by 1.5, that's 120 grams of protein per day. That's 4 chicken breasts, and that's your protein done. You're not going to have 4 chicken breasts, but that's what it looks like on a plate. 4 chicken breasts, done. Very, very maintainable, achievable. As you get more active, the more muscle mass you have, the more training you have, the higher it goes, the more muscle mass you have to start increasing your protein. The heavier you are as well, okay? Moderate target will be your weight times 2, so 80 times 2 is 160 grams per day, and then the higher end target, so people that I've had on photo shoots, doing cuts, just for satiety reasons, that's the right word, did I say it right? Satiety? Got it right. I'm back that again. Times 2.5 is the highest one I should go for clients looking to cut weight, in big deficits, who want to keep protein high. For fullness, for muscle, everything, 2.5 is the higher end scale you should be doing. That I'd recommend. So 80 times 2.5, 200 grams of protein per day is the top end scale. Chicken, mince, turkey, steak, fish, eggs, yogurt, whey, dairy, lentils, tofu, beans, etc. They're all sources of protein. Okay, or yeah, whey is there. So that is all the protein you need. So probably everyday person training, you're probably in the first 1 or 2 lines, unless you're a heavy lifter, 5 days a week. Want to gain muscle, want to hold on to the muscle if you're in a big deficit, I'd go to higher end scale, but probably the middle line or even the first line if you're new to all this and you're struggling with plans or it's all new to you, just start small and work up as the weeks go on. Don't go to the last line straight away. Alright? Next one please. So your macros are your carbs, proteins and fats. So these make up your total daily calories, okay? So your carbs, so 1 gram of carbs has 4 calories. 1 gram of protein has 4 calories in a gram of protein, and fats then have 9 calories per gram. So fats are quite nutrient dense, okay? If you have 10 grams of carbs on a plate, that is 40 calories. Does that make sense? 10 times 4, 40 calories. If you have now the same amount of food, 10 grams of fat, it is now 90 calories. So the same amount of food in your hand has over double the amount of calories. So that's why fats in a diet is quite important. Obviously you need dietary fats, but you have to keep them in check as possible, as much as you can. Okay, so we have the 80 kg female training 3 to 4 days per week. I put her starting calories in a slight deficit at 1800 calories. This is where the maths happens. If you don't want to write it down, just listen, okay? 80 kg, so I'm going to put her into that middle bracket. So 80 kg times 2 is 160 grams of protein per day, okay? If you go back to the top line, 1 gram of protein has 4 calories. 160 times 4 is 640 calories. Are you with me? Okay. So 640 of her calories, of her 1800, is just from protein alone, okay? The next one should be your fats. So dietary fats, I'll always stay around 25% on a training day. So this is a typical training day for a female, okay? 25% of your overall calories should come from your fats. So you go back to your 1800 calories, divide it by 4, you get 450. You go back to your first equation, 9 calories, divide 450 by 9, and you get 90 calories. Does that make sense? 25% of your overall calories is 450. Divide by 9, 90 grams of fat per day. The remainder of your calories come from carbs, not the devil. Please, they are not the devil. The remainder of your calories, you have 710 left, divided by 4, which is 4 grams or 4 calories per gram. That gives you 177.5 grams per day. This is your total daily. 160 protein, 90 fat, 177.5 equals. So if you do this by 4, do this by 9, do this by 4, they'll equal 1800. Does that make sense? Or have I lost anybody? Are you with me? Okay, stay on the slide for a second. So this is a typical training day for the female. So back to carb cycling again. What you want to do here, you want to flip your fats. So you want to put your fats from anywhere from 25 up to 40% fats. So if you put your fats up to 40%, you don't need to decrease your carbs. Protein and calories will stay the same. Your carbs will now lower to allow for fats to come back up. Okay? If you're on nutrition plan with me, you understand, I will send you PDFs after this as well in the Facebook group, which I'll be starting, which I'll tell you all about afterwards. This will all be in it, so you don't need to try and remember it all. Okay? Next one, please. Oh, here we go. Nutritional timing and intermittent fasting. Okay, please read the top line together. The timing of your meals is not important unless, okay, you are an athlete training twice in an 12 to 18 hour period for a certain sport. If you're a bodybuilder doing double sessions per day, same again in a 12 to 18 hour window. So that's, let's say, in the morning you could be doing your cardio, in the evening you might be doing your weight sessions. Throughout the day you could be getting your steps up, you're literally really active, so you want to get your nutrition timing on point here. For recovery purposes, for your strength to be in the gym, you want that energy ready. You don't want to be after your cardio session in the morning and then not worrying about the timing of your food, and then you get to your gym session at 6 in the evening and you're like, I'm drained. Why? You need to nutrient time your foods here. Unless you're in these categories, it's not important, okay? Third one down, if you're an advanced crossfitter or lifter, same again. So if you're in that advanced category, training twice a day, 6 days a week, nutrition timing is quite important, okay? If you're slow to recover from sessions, it is quite important to have or cycle certain fats and carbs pre and post workout as well for recovery purposes, okay? So that's another session or reason why. If you're diagnosed with IBS or other stomach issues or digestive problems, it is quite important to have your, not as such timing, but your food choices in check. You need to eliminate foods that don't agree with you, and then you obviously need to put in, let's say, if you feel groggy in the evening eating a certain type of carb or food, you need to eliminate that, put in something else instead of it. If you have a stomach problem like that, that's where nutritional timing and foods come into play as well, alright? If you're working shift work, is there anybody here working shift work? A few of you? No? Nobody doing shift work? Okay, pointless slide. So this is, I try to get clients to fast for as long as possible. So this is to restore biological rhythm in your sympathetic nervous state during night shift. You don't digest food very well during the night shift work. So your circadian rhythm literally flips on its head because you're now gone from, let's say, 12 hours a day being awake, from your 12 hours of night being asleep, it's flipped on its head. So you literally need to go with it to try to get it back into rhythm as soon as you can. I wouldn't recommend shift work to anybody unless it's necessary, nurses, doctors, all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's not the best for your health. If it can be divided, try to do it. But don't tell your boss that, right? Otherwise, just eat your food at whatever time of the day you want. Once you're in a consistent calorie deficit, Monday to Sunday, not Monday to Friday, you will achieve fat loss. Look at the bigger picture. Nutrition timing is not important if your sleep is poor, if your calories are too high, if your water intake is poor, if you're not training, and you're worrying about timing of your meal, you're setting yourself up for a bad relationship and a bad fall. So think of that going forward. Nutrition timing, unless you're one of the top 4, not important. And as far as I know, we don't have any of those training ATP. Okay? Not that I know, no fair. Intermittent fasting or the 16-8 rule. Has anybody not heard of intermittent fasting before? We all have. Everyone. Do you all know what it is? No, okay. So the 16-8 rule, this means, so out of a 24-hour day, you fast for 16 hours, and then you eat for 8 hours. You have an 8-hour window to eat all your food, and you have a 16-hour fast. From a fat loss point of view, there is absolutely no benefit to this. From intermittent fasting, keto, carbs, there's like, once you're in a deficit, you're going to lose weight. If you're in a surplus, but you're doing intermittent fasting, you're not going to lose weight. You're eating too many calories. It doesn't matter if you're eating in 4 hours or 8 hours. If you're eating too many calories, you cannot defy science and the law of thermogenesis and lose fat. You can't. There's no way around it, okay? So you're skipping one meal. Stop thinking this is superior for fat loss. If you overconsume your calories doing the 16-8 rule, you will gain weight. So as I explained already, it's not superior. I don't know where it came from. Extended fasts might have a benefit. Someone asked a question on that, so I'm going to touch on that in a minute. But intermittent fasting, from a fat loss point of view, it is no superior than eating a breakfast or not eating a breakfast. If you don't eat a breakfast, you just allow yourself more calories throughout your, let's say, if you're skipping a meal and you have 5 meals, you now have 4 meals to have more calories in them. That's all it is. As long as you're in a deficit, having 10 meals a day or 2 meals a day, you're going to lose weight. Does Does that make sense? So can we just put this to sleep and not do this? Okay, next one. Okay, a refeed and a cheat day. Has anybody not heard of a refeed or a cheat day before? Do you know what they are? You might have heard them before. So a refeed and a cheat day, they are, in my opinion, two totally different things. So a refeed is a structured plan from your coach where you know how many calories you're getting in, you know the carb intake, the fats and the protein. A cheat day is do what you want for a day and start again one day. Not ideal. I'll explain why. So a refeed is where calories are brought back to maintenance for a 1 to 3 day eating window. 1 day refeeds have shown to add no benefit to the body. So 1 to 3 day refeeds are where you want to be at with clients who need them to progress through a hormone called leptin. Okay. So if you're eating, let's say 1500 calories, you need to bring your calories back to 2000, which is maintenance for just 2 or 3 days, and then drop them back down again. So I had a girl doing a photo shoot in the last maybe 3 weeks coming up to the show. We were doing a 3 day deficit and a 2 day refeed for about 10 or 12 days. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was a deficit, Thursday, Friday was a refeed, Saturday, Sunday, Monday deficit, Tuesday, Wednesday refeed, so on and so forth. Kept fat loss going, hormones weren't getting down regulated, and it kept things nicely pushing us up to the day of the shoot. Okay? So not important unless you're in that category again, or if your coach tells you you need one. Okay? So fats and proteins are decreased due to fats delaying the uptake of carbs. What that means is, if you have a bowl of porridge for your breakfast, and let's say you have eggs with it, or let's say actually a protein shake, right? If you eat that bowl of porridge and your protein shake, you will be hungrier in 2 hours time, versus if you had your bowl of oats, if you put a fat source in with it, so let's say a scoop of peanut butter, so oats, peanut butter, protein shake, fats now will slow down the digestion of carbs in the body, so you will be fuller for longer. Pre-workout, this is quite important. Every pre-workout meal that I give clients and myself, I will have carbs, proteins and fats in the meal, so you're not crashing halfway through your session, vice versa feeling kind of groggy. You have that readily available energy source throughout the 60-90 minutes before and during and after your session. So carbs, proteins and fats before you train. Okay. Protein spread, that's fine. When you are doing, let's say, your post-workout meal, you should take out fats because you want the carb uptake quite fast in your body. So carbs and protein post-workout, carbs, proteins and fats pre-workout. Okay. As again, like that's kind of like more in the window of if your nutritional timing is kind of quite important, but like as like a serious lifter, pre and post workout meals are probably the two most you should be looking at on a training day. Breakfast, whatever, dinners and snacks, they can come wherever around it, but try keep your pre and post in order for your weight sessions. When dieting here, 2 main hormones are affected. Ghrelin goes up and leptin goes down. These are your 2 hormones that get up and down regulated in your body, okay? Hunger hormones, so what they do is you literally, one is for hunger, one is not. One goes down, one goes up, and they're meant to be the other way around, so you have to flip them back up. This is where a big carb day, reduce carbs, reduce fats, reduce protein and fats, up your carbs for the day. This restore these hormones back to baseline. When you see slow weight loss again, you're now in a deficit again. But refeeds are only important for that, so like it's not really important for the everyday person, but it was asked, so I just said I touched on it so you get it from my point of view and you know a bit about it. We place our bodies under further stress. The more fat we lose, cortisol goes up, which can then impact conversion of T3 and T4 and down-regulate metabolism. Cortisol is the question asked in a minute, so I'll touch on that further on. A refeed should be planned and structured by your coach in a prolonged dieting phase when body fat is at a low point. If you're carrying high body fat, there is probably not a need for a refeed. If you're not losing weight in a consistent deficit, you are either not in a big enough deficit, your expenditure is not big enough, or you're under-reporting to your coach. This is something that can happen a lot. Were you good Monday to Friday? Yes. What you have Saturday? Oh, I ate on plan, but I had this. Like, what you have? Bottle of wine, right? 700 calories, cool. That is no why you're not doing weight. It's not your hormones. It's not. You don't need a refeed. You don't need these diet breaks. It's because of that little bottle with all the calories in it that add up, have zero nutritional value to your body. 700 calories wasted, which you could have had from food or your deficit, and this is why you're at the same weight, not losing weight. This is why. So this is why as a coach we need to nitpick. This is why I have check-in sheets with clients. How was your food plan? How was your adherence from 1 to 10? Do you want any changes? This is a big point where I check from plans. Was your adherence okay? It was a 4. Okay, why was it a 4? So instead of me going, right, you're not doing weight, I'm going to cut loads of calories so you'll definitely lose weight next time, I need to find out why you're not doing weight. If you're down weight, a lot of weight, I'll ask why you're down weight. I stuck to the plan 100%, great, it's working. If you're up weight, I'll ask as well. I'll ask down or up. A lot of coaches out there will only ask, okay, why are you up weight? And then you say, right, they go, right, this is why. They'll never ask you, okay, why are you actually down weight? You go, oh, I actually changed this to this and I'm down weight. Like, can you do it again this week? And just do it again and again and again. Small changes consistently over time and you're going to get that achievable fat loss. Okay, a cheat day then is different in my opinion. A cheat day is where someone thinks they deserve a treat because they've been on plan for 2 weeks. Don't do this, please. You're not a dog. You don't deserve a treat after 2 weeks in bed. If you have excess fat to lose and it is your number one priority in life, you need to stay on plan. Not for a week or two, not for 10 days, consistently 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, depending on how much fat you have to lose, how much time you're giving yourself, vice versa, okay? If you have a night out coming up, did I touch this in a minute? Yeah, it's on further. So yeah, you have no idea how many calories you're actually taking in, so that's versus a refeed where a coach will up your carbs for you. You have your set amount of carbs to eat, you know how many calories you're taking in. That is only a guesstimate. If I tell someone like go have a cheat meal, they're like, what you eat? I'm like, pizzas and stuff, and I'm like, how many calories? It was nice. So I don't know, I'm like, okay, I don't know where to start now coming Monday with your deficit. So this is why structured refeeds are always more important than a cheat day. Okay? You probably won't be able to have that. Ben and Jerry's will be calling your name most definitely. So you can't have the pizza and then not go for the tub, you know? So just be aware, refeeds versus cheat days. There is benefits, pros and cons, and you're setting yourself up for a bad relationship with a good nutritional plan. If you think you can have a break every 2 weeks, you're obviously not enjoying your plan, or fat loss isn't your number one goal. If you really want to lose that weight, you have to be hard on yourself. You have to ditch those nights out for a few weeks. It's not forever, but it has to be done. I was there, I had to do it. It was hard. I missed out on some events, but I got to where I wanted to be eventually, and it was worth it in the end. It's not forever, and people think it is, and you just need to understand it's not forever. You will get there eventually, but you have to be hard on yourself. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. But as a coach, as all coaches will be doing here, we have to make it as enjoyable for you through the fat loss phase, because obviously you might have gained weight over 3, 4, 5 year period from enjoying your life too much. So when you come to us, we're not going to go, right, chicken and broccoli, 10 weeks, go. I need to nitpick from me, why did you gain weight? Right, I had a Rowan for the last 4 years. I'm like, whoa, okay. We now need to nitpick, what foods do you like in your plan? Okay, we will include in your plan foods you like to make your weight loss journey nearly as enjoyable as your weight gain journey. Alright? So we can't just go from up here to deficit, you're eating like a dog for 10 weeks and you're going to achieve weight loss. So this is where questionnaires are quite important with us when I have nutritional consultations. I have a big sheet, list of carbs, list of fats, list of proteins. You tick and X everything you do and don't want in the plan. So now I make the plan so the best adherence should be followed, because in the plan is all foods you said you wanted and I've made the quantities for them. There should be no slip-ups. That is another point in the bottom of the nutritional check-in sheets. Do you want any changes for the week coming? If you are sick of a food and like, oh no, not this again, you have to tell your coach. Don't work through it or don't try to substitute it yourself unless you know what you're doing. Could be more calories, could be less. Ask your coach, okay, I'm sick of, let's say, potatoes. Can I have rice? No problem at all. Your coach will then calculate the calories that match the rice, the potatoes, and substitute them in. Simple, done, in one check-in. And you're back on plan, adherence through the roof, feeling great. You're going to be on plan. You don't want to go for this cheat day because you're enjoying the plan and there's no reason why you shouldn't be on plan. Does that make sense? Good. If you want to meet out, ask your coach, take their advice. There's absolutely no problem with a night out, with friends, family, whatever you want. Just let us know in advance. This is where we make nutritional calorie adjustments the week leading up to it, the week before, the day of, whichever. If you have a night out coming up, we're not going to tell you can't do it. As I tell people, never miss out on 95% of life to weigh 5% less on the scales. That's a big thing to take away. So don't miss out on your life just because you can't go for a meal. Go out for a meal, let your coach know, or reduce the calories yourself throughout the week just so you know you're allowed for these meals. Is that okay? If fat loss is your goal, stick to the plan until you achieve it. It's not going to be forever, I've mentioned that already. So it could be for 10, 12, 6 weeks. It's just not forever. Just stick to it for 10 weeks, get to your goal, enjoy yourself, and then set your next goal. Alright? Next slide. Okay, so these are the 15, okay, here we go. These are the 15 questions that I've gotten from the public. I'm not going to mention names, so this is the, let's say, anonymous ones. You can write this down if you want, or you can just listen to me waffle on. So there's 15 questions. I'm going to answer these in detail. These are from clients who are here at the moment. Some who aren't here, that's okay. And then we have the Q&A window next, where I need at least 2 questions from you. Okay. Is there such, eating too much fruit? Absolutely. Fruit contains calories. If you eat too many calories, you gain weight. If it's from a fat loss point of view, obviously your calories need to be in point. Fruit should be included in your diet for fibre points of view, but obviously too much fruit it has calories, so too much is going to be, from a calorie point of view, too bad. Okay? So make sure you can always still be in a surplus, but I'm eating healthy, but how much are you eating? You're like, oh, but I'm eating healthy all week. Like, yeah, but have you written it down? Yes, but you're still in a surplus. Yes, it's all healthy food, but it's too many calories for what you actually need, so you're going to gain weight. As healthy as the food is, you're still going to gain weight. So you've got to keep your calories in check. Food is great, have it in your diet, 2 pieces a day, maybe more, maybe less, whatever you like. But it is important to have it in your diet, but absolutely too much can impact weight loss. What's the latest time to eat carbs? How long is a piece of string? I don't know how, where does this even come from? Your body doesn't know what time of the day it is. It doesn't know what time of the day you're eating carbs. Is it in the morning? Is it in the night? Your body is literally taking in the calories and the nutrients from the food and doing its job. Okay? Carbs before bed can actually help with sleep. Melatonin, all that kind of stuff. Warm dinners before bed, or even let's say if you have a Sunday dinner at home and then half an hour later you're on the couch and you're like, oh my god, I'm so tired and full. That is your hormones in your body from your carb sources. So warm bowl of oats before bed, bit of dark chocolate, winner before bed. So carbs are not the devil. Once they're distributed throughout the day within your calories and you're still in a deficit, doesn't matter what time of the day you have them. This is back to nutritional timing. Doesn't matter what time of the day you have carbs, unless they don't suit you. If you have carbs late at night and you can't sleep or you have stomach problems, save them throughout the day. Same as if you want to skip breakfast, if you have, let's say, a 500 calorie breakfast and you have a 500 calorie lunch, and then at the end of the night you only have 1600 or 600 calories left and you're like, I'm starving at night time. Have a smaller breakfast, have a smaller lunch, save more calories for the evening time so you don't pig out. If that is 100 or 200 calories and 2 biscuits are worth that and they fit your calories and they keep you on plan, have the biscuits. The problem is if you eat all your calories and you're still peckish, that's when you start spilling over 1 biscuit, packet of biscuits, tin of biscuits. No, that's where stuff goes wrong. So you just have to remember, if you are bad at nighttime with your food going, oh, you know, I'm really sluggish at nighttime, I get really hungry, save your calories from throughout the day, less meals throughout the day, save the bank of your calories for the evening, but try and make nutritional choices from good foods that have nutritional value for your body. Does that make sense? So save from calories. If you struggle in the morning, have a bigger breakfast. If that sets you up for the day, if you have a small breakfast and you're like an hour later, like, I'm starving, have a bigger breakfast. You just know you're going to have a smaller dinner or a smaller lunch, but once your calories are in check, over your, let's say if you're awake for 15 hours, doesn't matter what time of the day you have them, how much, just keep them in check over 5 meals, 2 meals, whatever you want. So that is myth, that's put to bed. We're not going to talk about it again ever. So this is a question that came from someone. Any foods or ways to try and reduce excess skin after a big weight loss phase that doesn't involve surgery? There wasn't any more information attached to this, so again, it is very context needed along with this one. So it kind of depends on how much weight loss was there, I'm not sure. How much excess skin is there? Is the person currently training? Have they been training in the past? What's their lifestyle like? I don't know. There is no certain food to help with excess skin. The ways to do it though is resistance training. It's the only way to tighten your skin. You could have a 20 stone man or woman who loses 5 stone through just walking and running. They will have excess skin, versus a 20 stone male or female who's lost 5 stone all through weights. They'll have tighter skin together. The only way to do it is through weights. Foods, there's no food out there that's going to help, or a magic potion or lotion. Bio oil does help with stretch marks, but you have to be using it every day, twice a day, but it does help with stretch marks. But again, I don't know how bad the excess skin is. How old is the person? Are you currently training? Are you going to be new to training? The newer you are to training, the better your body will adapt to weights, which is kind of a good starting point for you. But then again, I don't know the context of it. So if the person is here, if they want to put me aside afterwards and chat with me about it, that's no problem at all. I will help you out. Is it true it's harder to lose weight the older you get? Yes and no. So I'm going to look at it from 2 ways. I'm going to say... Okay, so I'm going to attack it from 2 ways. So is it true to okay. It is harder because, okay, the older you get, the less active you might be training, walking, training, or in gym, doing spinning classes, kids, whatever life gets in the way. So you mightn't be as active as you were 10 years ago. And the problem is, you might be, let's say, up there where you thought you were, and you still might be eating that many calories. So this is where it comes from. You think you're that active, but you've actually cut back in your sessions. You're not getting your 10,000 steps in. You're not recovering. Your water intake isn't there. So that's why it might be harder for you. But then you've got to look at it from the other side of, let's say, people like, I don't know, Sonia Sullivan, someone who's like at an older age, who's still in great shape, but that's her life. Like, she can do all them training sessions like 5-6 days a week. She can get out on the road running. She has proper nutrition, proper training, but she's still in shape, but she's an older lady as well. So you got to look for 2 days. Yes, the older you get, it is slightly harder because you're not as active. You can't get her as often, but your food has to go with it, and you've got to get her as much as you can. I know they say, oh, metabolism slows down. Adaptations do happen the less active you get. So let's say if your NEAT decreases, your steps decrease, your activity decreases, your body adapts to that. So it now requires less food, vice versa. And if your food is still up here, it's not going to adjust with it. So you're going to be gaining weight, if anything. So that's why I get the question, but it is yes and no is kind of the answer for that one. But like, does that make sense when I say like an older person, if you're active or not active? It does make sense. Does it? Yes? Yeah? Okay. How much water is too much water? What have I studied before on this? So your body can excrete between 20 and 28 litres of water per day. Now, unless you're a fish, you are not drinking that much water per day. Your body can eliminate no more than 1 litre of water per hour. So my go-to rule for water intake is what you weigh in kilograms times 40 ml of water. Okay? So if you weigh 80 kg times 40, that's 3.2 litres of water per day should be your target. Okay? So always by 40 ml thereabouts. That has a few different changes. Are you in a hot country? Are you training more? Is it hot outside? Is it cold? But like, drink water when you need it. There's no certain limit you can have, but like, unless you're drinking 20 plus litres of water a day, you're fine. There's no problem. You're not going to blow up and sink or whatever, drown yourself. So that's fine. So put that into bed. So I hope no one's drinking 28 litres of water, because that's kind of impressive if it is. Can you save calories during the week if you have a big day out at the weekend? Already touched on this. Yes, you can, but as I said, try something small throughout the day so you're not doing the absolute dog on it when you get to the restaurant. But if you want to save calories throughout the week, absolutely, that's fine. But long as you know how much you're putting back in, that's the main thing. But like, if fat loss isn't the biggest thing in the world to you, that's fine as well. Have your nights out, but get back on plan as soon as can. Just make sure your nights out don't run into a Sunday when you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're like, oh, let's get KCs and feel sorry for yourself. That's where the problems happen. And one night in town ends up into a Sunday and then feeling sorry for yourself Monday and you're like, I feel shit. Bad relationship with food there as well, straight away. You don't want that negativity in your brain and you're going to be beating yourself up, and it's just not good. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting and extended fasts or fasts? So as I touched on already, intermittent fasting, I've touched on that, okay. Extended fasts, from a calorie or weight loss point of view, there is no benefits at all, okay? So what an extended fast is where you eat for 6 days of the week and you fast for 24 hours, okay? The only changes you have here, okay? So you now divide your 7-day calories by 6, okay? So if you're eating 1,500 calories for 7 days, you divide that by 6 and do the math, you might be having maybe 1,800 over 6 days. So it's still the exact same amount of calories throughout the whole week, but it's just over a 6-day window. The only benefits I've ever done research on for extended fasts are 2 things. So you have a thing called MMC, which is migration motor complex. That's what it is, okay? So what that is, it's like a self-cleansing of your body, okay? MMC, if you want to write that down. So it's like a self-cleanse of the body. Can help if you have stomach problems, but from a fat loss point of view, no benefits. And the other one then is a thing called metabolic flexibility. What that is like using more fats as fuel in your body along with carbs. So it's kind of like carb cycling, so it's using fats and carbs together better. Metabolic flexibility is, so they're the only kind of 2 benefits that I've ever read about. I've never done it with my clients, I've never done it myself, so like I've never tried to test this. So from a fat loss point of view, if that was my thoughts on it, there's no benefit to it. You're going to feel cranky, you're not eating for a day, you're obviously going to lose weight, there's no glycogen, there's no water in the body, you're obviously going to be down scales with it, but from a fat loss point of view, not great. I wouldn't recommend it. Is it okay to eat more food than usual after a long run? No context again with this, so like, is your nutrition on point 7 days a week, or is it just after this run is when you can't recover properly and you want more food? Then obviously yes, but you obviously want your food to be on point leading up to the run, during the run, after the run, if you want to go that way about it. But I would recommend, maybe if you're not on plan, do get in more food after your run or before your run, whatever you prefer. If you can't run on a full stomach, get your carbs and fats and protein in afterwards for repair. But then again, I need to know, is your nutrition really good 7 days a week, or is it just for that one run day you're looking for good nutritional advice? I don't know where to go. So if you want to pull me again after the talk, let me know. How often should you have stool movement? Definitely once a day. If your fibre, fruit and veg is in check, definitely once a day, if not twice. At minimum. So fibre needs to be in check. If it's not, you need to get your fibre up in your diet, or it's just another underlying problem that you need to go see a doctor about. So I'm going to stay in my lane here and say go see a doctor with that one, not me. Alright? So definitely fibre is what gets everything moving. So fibre intake needs to be in and around 20 to 30 grams per day from overall foods per 2,000 calories, thereabouts. Okay? Any suggestions for a pre-bed supplement better for sleep? There is supplements out there, but then again, I don't know. Is it just from your eating bad? Do you have bad eating habits? Or is it just generally down to poor sleep? There are a few supplements. There is something called a ZMA, is a stack. You can get a stack called melatonin, which is like naturally released in the body, but you can supplement this. But I'd always look first to your recovery from food, recovery from training, how well food sits in your stomach late at night. If it's rumbling and if it doesn't sit with you well, you shouldn't be having that meal. Maybe have something else before bed. As I said, a warm meal before bed or something like that will improve your sleep quality. But definitely before supplements, it is a supplement for a reason. Look for the bigger picture again. So is your recovery on point? Is your sleep okay outside of, let's say, your bad nights? Is your water intake okay? What time are you going to bed at? Are you looking at a screen before you go to bed last thing? Do you have a blue light filter on your screen? There's so many variables. So if you want to ask me again after the talk, no problem, I'll touch on that more. What are your thoughts on the new WW app for kids? Oh my days. Have you heard of this yet? So WW, who are also known as Weight Watchers, have changed their name to W&W. Okay? They have now brought out an app for kids, right? They target kids between the ages of 8 up to 17. And their opening line on their app is to help your child achieve a better weight at 8 years of age. I was fuming when I heard this. I have an 8-year-old child, and if I found out she was going this or being brainwashed by this, I would absolutely lose the plot. 8 years old up to 17, right? So it's like an adult's MyFitnessPal, but it's for kids between 8 and 17. So same kind of layout. You put in your age, your height, your activity level, vice versa. Now the next screen got me hard. There is a drop-down menu of what you want to achieve. So for adults, it's like 1 pound a week, 2 pounds a week, 3 pounds a week, whatever you want. For the kids, there is about 4 or 5 windows. The top one is, do you want to feel better in your clothes? Do you want to improve your performance in sport? The next one, do you want to make your parents happier? I was just like, oh my God. Please, if you have kids in the audience, do not get this app. The app is free to get. Where they catch you, it is $69 a month. You then get back and forth consultation with no nutritionists, no dietitians, no gym experts. What they're qualified in is economics and I think it's law possibly, so they literally haven't a clue. Please avoid this app. I think it's called Curbo, K-U-R-B-O. I think it's called Curbo. Please avoid it. Do not give your kids this app. Educate them yourselves. Look to us for help if you want to, for more, let's say, help with your kids, what should go into their lunchbox, vice versa. If you're struggling with your kids' weight, all kids get there at some point in their life. I was there when I was younger. I wish I had the help that's out there now, but please look to a professional. One of us are always here to help you. Do not turn to this app. Please, I beg you. Just forget it even happened. So they're actually even calling themselves WW now, so they're not known as Weight Watchers to get the weight out of the word. But when it was like to achieve a better weight on the scales for kids, just like you're setting an 8-year-old child up, like standing on the scales every day going, I'm not down weight, what's wrong with me? Like 8 years of age doing that. Like adults struggle with that. Imagine our 8-year-old child doing it. Absolutely, it annoyed me so much. Okay, moving on. Very passionate about my job. Bad and unhealthy relationship with food. This kind of goes back to earlier on where you're kind of turning to your cheat meals or your cheat days. You might have an unhealthy relationship with a good nutrition plan if you want your nights out every weekend. That's why kind of only taking it as such, bad and unhealthy. Like if you look at a food as a bad food, you're setting yourself up to always see it as a bad food, okay? What I try to do with people is if they've had a bad week, they'll always go to their go-to food. That might be a Snickers, it could be Ben & Jerry's, it could be anything. That is there now, in their head, bad food. What I try to help people do is, if they have a food that they love and they want to stay on plan with, I will try put some of it into your meal plan. So now it is not a bad food anymore. You're allowed to have that food. So now your mentality with that food should be changing from, oh, I do thought this was bad. It fits my calories, I'm still losing weight. It is now fits your plans. I had a girl on a 6-week plan who wanted Chewits every day of her 6-week plan. No problem. She had Chewits every single day and a Fibre One bar and lost 15 pounds in 6 weeks. And that's what she wanted. Stayed on plan to a T. And she got there with the food she wanted, rather than going, yes, I'll eat all the food, but now I'm going to blow out on my Chewits at the weekend because I know I can't have them. They're a bad food. They're not a bad food. If they fit your plan, any good nutritional coach should be able to fit these into your plan to a certain degree when he or she sees fit. Does that make sense? How does cortisol affect weight and fat loss? So cortisol doesn't directly affect stress. So stress is an outside stressor coming into the body. Okay, so like you can't blame your cortisol for you being stressed. Something stressed you throughout your day, the night before, the day of, or the day after. This is where your stress comes from. This is where weight loss might be affected to a certain degree, is because people can over and under eat when they're stressed, and we're all guilty of it. If we're stressed, people either have one extreme where they can't eat because they physically feel sick from stress, or people overindulge. This is where weight loss can be affected. If they overindulge, obviously it's too many calories, their weight loss is going to be affected. If they don't eat enough, what they happen is they'll fast for a day or two, and then their stress is gone, and then they binge. So this is where weight loss, vicious circle. So cortisol doesn't really directly impact it, but it can be offset when you are stressed. It doesn't help in the body when this gets attacked. Your internal stressors, receptors, go all over the place. You either eat loads, you run from it, fight or flight, all that kind of happens in the body. So there's two extremes. So that's kind of where the weight loss side of it comes. Does that make sense? Does that all kind of add up? Substitute for meat and fish in your diet for vegetarians. So if you're not eating meat or kind of poultry, red meats, fish in your diet, you want to be turning to like beans, all that kind of stuff, lentils, kidney beans, all that kind of stuff for your food. But the only thing is with these, so there are 20 amino acids. Have you heard of the word amino acids before? Okay. So they are so you have 20 amino acids in total in your meat, in your fish, in your poultry, red meat. They are 20 complete proteins. The problem is when you go vegetarian or cut out meat and dairy or whatever from your meal plans, you now have something called an incomplete protein. Okay? So there are 9 non-essential amino acids that your body cannot produce that it needs to get from food. These are the 20 altogether. The ones you probably would have heard of: valine, leucine, isoleucine, tryptophan, just to name a few of the 9. They are the ones in your meats, your fish, your whatever, 20 complete. When you're eating your beans, your lentils, your tofu, whatever it is, they are an incomplete protein. So to make this a complete protein with all 20 amino acids, you need to substitute, or not substitute, but you need to have a grain with it. Okay? So you need to be having rice and tofu, or rice and kidney beans. They now bond to make your complete protein. So this is the only way you're going to make a complete protein if you're not getting in meat and fish and veg, whatever, or not veg, but meat, poultry, red meat, fish. You need to substitute some sort of grain with the vegetarian option for your protein to bind together to now give you all 20 amino acids in your body. Does that make sense? Is there any vegetarians here? Does that make sense? No? One or two? Good. Does that make sense? So would you have kind of grains with kind of meats already? Or is that kind of all new to you to make complete proteins? Yes. Do you have? Okay, perfect. Next one. Open floor Q&A. I want at least 2 questions. I have given you... Time is that?
How much exercise do you need? Depending on how much weight you want to lose. So we'll say if I'm working all day, 8 hours a day, I come home and totally pregnant, I want to go on a diet.
Okay.
But I haven't time to exercise.
Then your nutrition is the big thing. If you can't exercise, like exercise is a bonus to your nutrition plan. So the nutrition is like the be all and end all. You can train as hard as you want, but you can't out-train a bad diet. Does that make sense? So if your diet's bad and you're training good, you're in a vicious circle. You're like, I'm training really hard, but I'm not eating great. Why am I losing weight? If you can't get to the gym, nutrition needs to be on point to like 80-20. 80% good foods, 20% foods you want, and then that's it for weight loss. Obviously in a calorie deficit as well. But calories number 1, protein number 2, and just move as much as you can. So steps, so NEAT is very important. So your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, that's the exercise burned outside of planned, or calories burned outside of planned exercise. Does that make sense? So your NEAT is quite important throughout the day. Questions, please? I want at least 2.
How much of a calorie deficit is too much of a calorie deficit?
Kind of depends on your starting point, really. Like if you're not getting your minimum amount of protein in, so let's say if you require 200 grams of protein per day times 4, that's a minimum of 800 calories, minimum, and then you need to put in your fats on top of it, so that could be another 500. That's a minimum of 1300 before any carbs. So like, it's very hard to just say like when I don't know your age, height, weight, activity level, how much is too little. But like I've had people on photo shoots getting in unreal shape, and the lowest they went was about 1200, and that was photo shoot condition. So like there's no need to be going that low to that extreme for like everyday kind of weight loss. But like the calculator is there, I'm here to help. We are running a special offer for the next few days. Nutrition plans, we run them here for €199 for 6 weeks. We are giving 1 week free for people here tonight. I'm starting a Facebook group with you as well that you can invite yourselves onto, and I'll accept you. What I'm going to be doing is you're going to see my next 6 week block of my cut. I'm going to be going through my starting calories, my carbs, my proteins and fats for training and rest days. I'll be going through my training split with you, my cardio, how much sleep I'm getting, my water intake. So you can follow me for 6 weeks if you want and see how, from a coach, we attack it. Now, if you want as well, if you want to go out to that website and you want to get your maintenance calories, set up your own food plan, and if you all want to check in with each other online a bit as well, absolutely no problem. If you want to ask questions to me, I will answer them back in that group, but it's like an exclusive group to whoever showed up tonight as such. But the offer is open on the app for everyone. I want another question, please. I'm here. Let's go. I'm hyped. Let's go. Come on, ask me anything. I'm not scared.
Those fitness trackers, are they good
For tracking?
for tracking calories?
No, they're very inaccurate. So there's the only thing I'd use them for is the time and a stopwatch and maybe steps.
No, I mean my fitness pal.
Or the app.
Name the food.
Okay, me and Ian chat about this today. So from tracking how much food and calories you're eating, it's a great database.
Yeah.
So it tells you put in the food and the quantity you're eating, and it gives you the calories. The only problem is I got a food diary from a client a few weeks ago, and it was she put in all her food, and she put in her exercise, and it says you have earned like 200 calories. I was like, you've just burnt them. What are you eating them back for? Like, so why are you eating back the calories you just burnt? You've already put in your activity level, so this should already know how hard you're training. It shouldn't be giving you back the calories it's already taken from you. So it's great for giving you that baseline of how many calories you're actually eating per day and where your kind of starting point is. So I'll get most clients, like if they haven't done a plan before or they're all into calories, MyFitnessPal, just track your food for a few days, and that gives you your like baseline kind of guesstimate of how many calories you're taking in per day. That's where you make your adjustments from. But like from a point of view where it gives back calories, I don't know what their kind of their rhythm is there or how their tactical approach is there. But like track your food, see when you're getting in, but don't use it as gossip and take calories back out or put calories back in when they say so. Does that make sense? Hit me. Go on, someone.
Is it possible to measure metabolism?
Oh, I wouldn't say so. No. As in, is there any more context with the question?
Well, I'm going to talk about myself.
Okay.
I have underactive thyroid for 20 years.
Okay.
It's short before that. I would never have had any weight issues whatsoever. No.
Okay.
So for about the last 10 or 15, it's been a struggle.
Okay.
So kind of up and down. And I always feel my metabolism routine that holds me back.
Okay.
Even though there are times where I've got kind of low energy and whatever, but that could be related to what I'm eating, and I can't blame that.
Yeah, food choices could be a problem with it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just wonder if it's possible, say, so I've gone for training the last few weeks, if it's possible to measure metabolism so that I can see, that my exercises maybe
Is working and stuff, is it?
It's working.
Okay.
That,
No, like you can't like.
exercise in my food and
Yeah, like you can't as such measure metabolism, but the only thing you can do is like have your calories in check, because like your metabolism like isn't broken, like you're not broken. There's obviously something offsetting. It could be your thyroid if that's still kind of underactive, but like more than likely it's going to be from a calorie point of view. So like if you make a food diary or track your calories, and if you're even 100 or 200 over every day, this is where your weight loss is stalling. So once you improve your sleep, your food, your training, weight loss will occur. Now I don't know how bad the underactive thyroid is, but like calories will like always be most important. So when you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, you have to go up or down. So I'd always look at calories first, before thinking like your metabolism is slowed down or broken or whatever. Like it doesn't really stop ever. Like it does go lower, and adaptations do occur throughout. As you get older, dieting phases, you have to go with it. But that's where you got to make adjustments. So, like as you said, like you might be the same person you were 10 years ago, but you might be eating the same calories and the same like whatever you were eating 10 years ago as such. you're now a different person, different physiology on the body, so you need now to like readjust calories, do your calculations again, and that could be like, oh, I should be actually eating 300 less than I'm actually eating, and that's where you kind of judge your weight loss off that. Then like if you're not losing weight, like come to one of us, we'll sit you down and put the calories checked properly through your foods and see like you might be underestimating your calories as well. And if you're not tracking them properly, it could be like a rough figure, so you have to kind of nail that down first before you think you're broken internally. But I do get where you're coming from, but you can't like as such measure metabolism unless it's something I know about. Get me? Any more?
Body percent fat.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that? I know, like, when we don't measure it,
Yep.
So, but then you hear people talking about that it should be X, Y, or Z.
Okay, so it should never be like a certain point unless you are competing to go on a stage. That's when body fat needs to be done. That's when you need to be, let's say, if you're not losing a whole lot of scales weight, you need to be seeing where you're visually losing from. That's where the calipers, the skin fold test, so like tricep, bicep, wherever you want to do it from, that's where you need to know where you're losing your visceral fat from, around organs, under your skin. You need to be seeing, is that getting tighter if your weight's not moving? So bodybuilders, photo shoots, they literally need to get to like as shredded as possible, cutting as much fat as possible. Like it's not that important for like an everyday person. So like we're not really do body fat unless someone wants it.
If somebody's overweight though, like, you know the way there's normal for male and female.
Okay.
Body percent fat, like you can't be over 25 for a woman.
That's BMI.
That's BMI, yeah.
Is it?
So that's body mass index, yeah. So that's different. But like then again, like I don't know, like you could have a fit person who's like a power lifter who could have Eddie Hall, he's a massive fella, like high percent body fat, but his strength and whatever is through the roof. And then you could have someone the same weight who's like couch potato and has more body fat, but it's the same weight. So I'd recommend just like, yes, if you have high body fat, you want to start losing it eventually, but like if you want to really get it done, measured properly, it's called a DEXA scan, but they're quite expensive in hospitals, but that'll give you like the most accurate reading. But like everyday person, it should just be down to like mirror image, how you look in the mirror, how your clothes are fitting, how you look and feel, rather than worrying about a little skin fold. Because the thing about skin folds is, if you have a high carb meal or a high water or drink before you come in and you get your body fat done, and then the next time you have no carbs in your body, you're going to be a different pinch. And you know, it's very off-putting for someone in, they'll be like, I'm up body fat, but I'm training 3 weeks, but like you could be like pinched to the left a little bit and you could be off. So like I'm for and against them, but more against them for an everyday kind of weight loss point of view.
So I suppose if you're on a diet and following the calorie count.
Yeah, that's all you need. Unless you're going on stage competing. If you want to, no problem. But that's where you want to be worried about body fat to a certain degree, if it worries you, do you know? It's that like, 1% in the 5% body fat range where you need to get to dial in the kind of single digits.
You were going on about at one point when to increase and decrease calories, and you brought up the point of our cycle, and you were saying the second 2 weeks is when you would increase the calories.
Yeah.
Suppose that, and most women would typically not have a regular cycle.
Okay.
How would you calculate?
So what I ask women then is, does your body still get the fluctuations of a 28-day cycle? So let's say, do you feel in love with yourself for 2 weeks of your cycle and you feel great and bubbly? You're women, like, I love myself as well. And do you feel great for 2 weeks and you're training through the roof, you're training great, your strength is, you're banging out the reps, not a bother, and then 10 days later you're doing the same set and you're like, why am I struggling? Do you know? Then you feel groggy, you're hungrier, you're still getting the fluctuations, but obviously not the regular 28-day cycle, but you should still internally be getting fluctuations as such. That's when you kind of know. So when you get like moody, hormonal, when you're hungry, that's when you need to start upping calories rather than binging.
I'm sure that's 2 weeks.
Yeah. Questions, please? Anything else? One more for the road. Anyone? Hit me.
How
No
could
way.
you judge it, I just talk about cycles, how could you judge it how much it change?
I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Great question, but I don't know. Hot flushes? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not that far in my career yet. I will find out and come back to you though. Promise you. Any more questions that I can actually answer? Anything at all? So the Facebook group will be going live maybe tonight or tomorrow. I'll get Ian to post it on the Facebook page. Just invite yourself to that. When that's set up and you're invited onto it, I do invite you to work out your calories. We'll all check in with each other if possible. If you want to just sit back, relax and follow me for my 6-week cut, that's no problem at all. And if anybody has no questions, thank you all very much for coming and talking to me.